Welcome to Kiska Brand Bajega, Marketing All Stars, where we talk about all things branding and marketing with some of the brightest minds of the business world. Get ready for some candid chats and a whole lot of inspiration. And today in the Legacy Lounge, we'll talk about the largest hotel chain in the world with about 8,000 properties in 139 countries and territories, Marriott International. And I have with me the VP of Marketing in South Asia, Khushnooma Kapadia. Khushnooma, welcome to Kiska Brand Bajega Marketing All Stars. Khushnooma, I'll start with the latest trend that I see going on in the market these days. People keep switching their jobs every 2-3 years, and here we have somebody who has grown through the ranks for about 2 decades now, right? What would you say keeps you going still?
I think I'm of the firm belief that longevity is really something that's very sustainable for a successful career. Yeah. Not to say that change is not good. Change is, of course, the only constant. But in my belief, I believe that, experience is a very big factor in what makes you what you are. Yeah. And experience comes with a lot of exposure that is over a sustained period of time, which is what I have had at Marriott, to be honest. I came in to the company 20 years back, and we were just one hotel in the country at that time. Wow. And today we are a portfolio of 160 hotels in South Asia. So, a lot of times people have said, oh, you're a dinosaur. You've been with this one organization for so long. But I don't believe that, because I think with every brand we launched, with every hotel we opened, with the kind of mass, people-intensive exposure that I have got in this organization, I think everything has been such a massive learning curve. Amazing.
Yeah. And I think it's a journey of both the entities, for yourself as well and for the brand, from 1 to close to 160 now. Now that you've spent so much time with the brand, diving deep into every segment, from the category to knowing the consumer very well now, of course, are there any strategies and any philosophies that guide your approach towards how you look at the brand now?
So I think every brand comes with its own positioning. Every brand comes with its own promise. We're 17 brands in this country now, and every brand is speaking to a different section of the audience, right? So there's been a lot of insight-driven data that we constantly reference. There are so many people we speak to. These are things that really enable us to keep ourselves absolutely abreast with the changing times. And I think that's what's really kept us relevant in the market today.
Yeah, and we can see the drive and passion that you have for the brand, but this does not look like something that can be done alone, right? And I'm sure that the marketing team at Marriott has also grown significantly, and with that, there has been an acceleration of digital services in the portfolio as well. How would you say you approached building your team and fostering innovation within Marriott's marketing efforts?
So I think I'm literally a middleman, right, between my senior stakeholders as well as the individuals who work in my team. Yes. And I realize that I've got to be the conduit point between these two mindsets. Okay. So whilst I need to constantly imbibe the strategic vision that is set by the senior members of our organization, my job is to make sure that I'm translating that in a way that is very consumable for the new age generation. I'll really give a lot of value to the right mindset. I truly believe that fostering an environment of collaboration really brings the best results on the table. And then, of course, I've had the privilege of working with some extremely sharp and intelligent human beings, both senior to me as well as members in my team.
Yeah, and Khushnooma, you almost make it sound so easy, but we understand that it's not that simple to ensure that there is a strategic vision that comes down from the senior management, and ensuring that the younger lot that you're bringing in, they get to know exactly what they need to do. Even in your life in general, you've moved from finance, you took up marketing now. There are surely a lot of challenges that might have come your way. Anything in particular that you feel that you overcame that was very meaningful or changed the trajectory in that sense?
I think taking a paradigm shift from finance to the world of communications and marketing was a very pivotal point in my life. I knew that it wasn't the career for me. The only thing that really worked in my favor at that point of time was I recognized what my core skills were. I continued to take those calculated risks. And I think I am a product of a lot of faith and investment in people who had the fortitude and the foresight.
Yeah.
Today, I believe that I've got to grow that next legacy. And
yes.
I don't do that. I don't invest in people. I don't take those kind of, risks in people and have that kind of faith. I don't think I'm doing justice, because I think the best thing to do as a leader is to give people the ability to fail.
And I'm sure that independence, that freedom that you've given them to fail, but then also learn from it, is one of the reasons that Marriott right now is known for its strong presence in the region, and also the kind of strategic partnerships that it has built, right? Talking about those brands that you've partnered with and now are a part of that entire larger umbrella, how would you say you leverage their strengths, and how does everything come together when it comes to operating in a space like this?
So I believe no brand is only big enough to today operate in isolation. I think when you marry the marketing muscle of two brands, the canvas becomes really wide and the landscape becomes really huge.
Okay, and how do you figure out that marriage between the kinds of consumers that you both are targeting when you approach a brand?
So we have a certain set of psychographic that we'd like to aspire. Travel is today a very discerning investment. We also have a certain sense of demographic, and then we study the brands we want to partner with. And then, of course, if they speak the same language, not necessarily in the same category, but the same voice and the same tonality and the same positioning, then they are the right partners for us to collaborate with.
Okay. And now coming to your passion for creativity as well, Khushnooma, we know that you've got a deep understanding of the media landscape, and I'm sure that this also has been central to your achievements. How would you say you stay ahead of these media trends and the insights that you said, right? How do these shape Marriott's marketing campaigns?
So I think my big philosophy of my life is that I do believe that learning doesn't end until you close your eyes. And despite all the educational qualifications, I still believe that I've got a lot to learn.
Yeah.
And then look at the way the pandemic changed the face of the way we do business, or the way, we perceive our lives, not just our professional lives, but even our personal lives. So I think every juncture of your life teaches you a lot.
And this philosophy of constantly learning, Khushnooma, and the fact that you also hold the values of keeping your work-life balance intact, very, very close to what the way you approach your work, right? How do you balance it out both in your life and also in the team that you lead?
So I'm a huge believer of work-life balance. So if I see any individual from my team beyond working hours, I get extremely upset, because I believe that if you have life outside of work, you're able to bring a lot to the table. Because everything has to move in a certain sense of tandem. Life is about balance, right? I believe in working smart, not working hard. And that's the kind of propagation I'd like my team to cascade down to their members as well.
And you are one of the thought leaders and you represent one of the largest brands in the ecosystem, Khushnooma. So looking forward, how do you see the future of marketing in the hospitality industry? How do you see it evolving, especially with the rapid pace of digital transformation and consumer behaviors changing every other day?
Yes, of course. I think the future is digital. I think the future has come to a point that you can no longer just be creative. I think creativity requires a lot of technical insights. It requires a lot of assessment of, what your market is asking. I think you need to put your ear to the ground. There was a time when we had a genius idea. We would just give that idea life, thinking that it would eventually work out. I think those days are gone, right? Because everybody is very prudent in the way we invest money. You need to have a very clear, laser sharp eye on what you want to achieve with the investment that you are actually putting.
Sure.
The money is not yours, right? You are actually playing with somebody else's money.
And finally, for all our viewers who are looking to build a career in marketing within the hospitality sector, let's say, what advice would you offer based on your own experiences and your successes?
I think my biggest advice would be to stop being so entitled. This generation is born with a silver spoon.
Okay.
They've really seen very little struggle, because everything has been handed pretty much on a platter. Yeah. And I believe that when you don't have a security net, you have the hunger to succeed. And it's perseverance that makes you, land up in a sphere of success. And success has very different dynamics for everybody. I don't believe titles are a barometer of success. Yeah. I believe my relationships are bigger than any title that I can hold or any amount of financial success that I can have.
And that brings us to the end of this segment. Thank you so much, Khushnooma, for joining us. And it was lovely talking with you.
Thank you.
Wish you all the best with whatever is in the future.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you for having me.
And time for a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be back shortly.
What is that one advice you'll give to everybody that's been overwhelmed with all the financial advice, content, everything that's out there and that they see online and they get confused with?
Lack of information, or I would say lack of right information. That is the biggest problem statement. And many times people don't know things. The most educated people also get cheated online because they don't know how to prevent. We always try to focus on how we can be very innovative and how can be very different in terms of putting our proposition forward to the customer on a digital platform. Because ultimately that's the future.
Welcome back to Kiska brand Bajega, Marketing All Stars.
On the guest chair, we have someone who spent 2 decades in the corporate world building brands, especially in the financial sector. We'll chat about Poonawalla Fincorp, a financial solutions company founded in 1989 that offers quick, hassle-free and transparent loan offering and services. Please welcome the EVP and Chief Marketing Officer of Poonawalla Fincorp Limited, Kumar Gaurav. Welcome to Kiska brand Bajega, Marketing All Stars.
Hi, thanks for having me here.
2 decades for you in the corporate world and now working in a company, right, which is an entity that's 2 years old but has millions of customers. So tell us how your journey has been, what have you been doing at Poonawalla Fincorp, and just tell us what you've been up to.
Last 20 years, I don't look at only as just a number. I think it's quite a journey. And the important part was that the kind of projects I got a chance to work on and the kind of people I got to work with. I think that's something which makes this entire 20 years as a much more fruitful than anything else. So we as Poonawalla is part of Cyrus Poonawalla Group. We all know that. It's a 2-year-old entity, Poonawalla Fincorp, since the time we have acquired Magma. And from that time till now, I think we have come quite a long way. I think I would say that is one of the best transformation you can see in an NBFC industry. From where we were earlier when we actually got into this entire arrangement, and from there to every quarter and quarter, the kind of business results which we have delivered. I think that has won the faith and trust of our investors, our customers, and our employees too. I think that the kind of environment we are in right now, I think growth is the only way. And we are a very performance-led organization. And we have our own internal work culture. We have internal organization philosophy to drive that. And we aspire to grow like a phoenix. Very soon you will have a completely new transformed NBFC in a top 3 most trustworthy organization, and that's the aspiration we have.
So this brings me to the next question that we have, right? With Indians becoming more financially literate and fintech coming up as a whole new category in itself, the market is becoming more and more competitive than ever, right? What do you think is the way for us, the way for Poonawalla Finance to stay relevant in the audience in 2024 specifically?
See, it is not just about the money. It's about how you create a story behind that why someone needs it. It's not about just only the content, but also the context behind the content. I think that actually hits the nail. As a need of the hour is that how can we reach out to the younger crowd? Because if you want to be relevant for another 10 or 15 years, you have to catch hold your consumer at the right stage where they actually start building up their dreams and aspiration. And that is where, if you are engaging then when they grow, they always take you or look at you as a partner and not as a lender. At the same time, we always try to focus on how we can be very innovative and how can be very different in terms of putting our proposition forward to the customer on a digital platform. Because ultimately, that's the future.
What drives you and your management right out there? And what at the back end, what is that success mantra that you talk about?
I think as an organization, we are a very performance-driven organization. I think that's something we have crafted a very nice acronym, which is also relevant to the category. This is called credit. It's CREDIT. It's credit. We are in a lending business. The credit goes very well with that. But here the credit means for our organization is very different. One is about the collaboration, C for collaboration, R for responsible, E for entrepreneurial skill set or entrepreneurial mindset, you can say, D for being very direct. So no ambiguity when you are communicating, no ambiguity when you are talking about, no hidden communication there. I think that's something which is one of the problem statement for all the consumer with respect to financial services. I for innovation. So whether it's innovation not just only in the product, but also the way we deliver the product. That's something which we are consistently building on. And T for being transparent. So whatever is that. So if you look at that entire credit as an acronym, it's been taught to us, it's been imbibed, it has been accepted by each and everyone in the organization.
So what we'll do is the next set is a quick rapid fire round of sorts,
sure.
Right? So I'm going to give a sort of a sentence and then say it's a yes, no, what is the base focus and all. So the first one is celebrities make a difference when it comes to overall effectiveness of the campaign. So it's a yes or a no for you.
It does, but celebrity is also always a messenger. The message is important.
You would have worked with a few celebrities in the past.
Yeah, many.
Right. So what is that one or two celebrities you've loved working with or you would love to work with?
I mean, I've worked on the kind of a brand I've worked with. I've worked in the banking sector. I've worked in telecom when it was completely on the rise. I've worked in beverages with the surrogate advertising. I've worked in, again, financial services, insurance. But I think I remember when I was in a telecom brand and I worked very closely with Abhishek Bachchan. It was fun to work.
So for the next one, I would love to know, and the people would love to know, what is the primary objective of Poonawalla Fincorp in 2024? Right? Is it A, awareness? Is it consideration? Or is it about sales?
See, the kind of a category in which we are in, the biggest challenge is not awareness. The biggest challenge is the consideration. People are aware. May not be aware about the brand, but they go and do search because they know exactly what they are looking for. If you're looking for a personal loan, you know what you're looking for. It's all depends on when you are searching on a digital platform, particularly I'm giving example of the medium, which brand is actually available there, how active you are, how engaging you are if you are on a social media or otherwise. Do you have your own content strategy in place which can drive web traffic to your portal, and even at the website, is it engaging? Because it landed on a web page and it just looks very old school, then you will see a lot of dropout cases there as well. So I think that's more important for me right now.
What is your perspective on advertising? Is it transactional versus is it emotional? What would you want to do?
I think the approach would be more about emotional, because the kind of a category in which I am very specific to the category in which I am. So transactional is taken. It's more about that people know exactly that they want to buy Apple.
Right.
Why they should buy Apple only from you that's the differentiation.
So one last question for you. What is that one advice you'll give to everybody that's been overwhelmed with all the financial advice, content, everything that's out there and that they see online and they get confused with?
It's a both side exist. Lack of information, or I would say lack of right information. That is the biggest problem statement. I think one element is there definitely as a brand, as an entire industry, as an entire sector, we should actually own it. it's about your financial literacy and fraud prevention. I think fraud is something that irrespective of whether you are a bank, whether you are NBFC, whether it's a fintech or any category, subcategory you belong to, I think we as an industry should own this. We should actually come together and build a campaign together that this is something which is not just only from one particular brand, but is actually to educate our customers. I think that would be the real value proposition to our customer in today's world, when there are too much of information. We don't know which information is the right information, which information is to follow. And many times people don't know things. The most educated people also get cheated online because they don't know how to prevent.
That's it for today from my end. Thank you so much, Kumar. It was lovely having you, and loved how we talked about how a 2-year-old entity is now making the news, how we're building it up, what your perception and your story is about 2024. And like we were talking about, right, like for audience, it's wings, it's wind under their wings. I wish the same for you. May there will be a lot and a lot more of wind under your wings.
Thank you so much. Thank you. A pleasure having you.
And that brings us to the end of today's episode. See you next time. Take care.